presenting Love Uber Eats, a platform to donate essential items to those in need.
Welcome to Danu and Fire, and today I have someone who I've shared great amount of time with on radio, and she's one of my favorite co-hosts. I have a very few who I've sat and done shows with. She was my first favorite, so I have to make that very clear. I have Blessie Keegel with me.
Yay.
Thank you for joining me on the show.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here, Danu.
It's for you. With you, it's just talk.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like this is going to be a 3-hour show.
We just can't be doing formal.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, we're at Golfis Hotel, and this is the Travelers
Bar.
That's what. It's beautiful.
It's the corridor.
Yeah, a corridor, little space that's really carved out beautifully. The food looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yours is smoking more than mine.
I'm okay with that, actually. It looks great.
No, that's what I'm just saying. Mine feels a bit left out.
Do you want to exchange?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
That's just too much of trouble to go through. So Blessie Keegel is known for some cool stuff. So number one, her voice was just really amazing on radio. She's not on radio these days, which is a loss for radio. I still remember the first time I heard Blessie. She was a management trainee at this radio station that we were working with. And Blessie had this, this cool vibe, and she used to keep it to herself, and she was doing this show the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was driving, and I heard her voice, and I was like, who is this girl?
Oh.
And then I called the boss, and then I'm like, oh my God, she needs to be. Next thing I know, she was on the drive, and I was so happy. And she has a beautiful voice. So tell me, did you studied media?
I did. So I've always wanted to be in the entertainment industry, and I felt like radio, TV, and film, that was my major in college, and I got a chance to work in the music industry in LA before I moved back.
Yeah, she rubbed shoulders with Jay-Z and just normal people.
The usual.
The commoners.
But when I came back to Sri Lanka, I had already interned a summer at Yes FM, and it was really fun. So obviously it made sense to kind of go back. And if someone had not been fired, I wouldn't have gotten that afternoon show.
Oh, right.
So I was happened to be at the station that week on my management trainee rounds.
When somebody got fired?
When someone got fired, and they were like, hey, do you want to,
we fired this guy without finding a replacement. Would you like to sit?
And I'm like, and I was training with him just to kind of figure out what it was like as an experience. And that was it, and the rest is history. And I'm like, this is great.
This is great.
I get to play music and get paid.
I'm so happy that you didn't sit next to other people. They would have been like, she is the omen that's getting people fired.
She's the worst. Yeah, it's happened, but anyway.
So that was the start.
Yeah, it was a fluke.
But did you ever think how you sound on radio?
I didn't. I mean, I did a demo, which I still have to this day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I still have it. It's great. I never thought about it. I mean, I knew that I was comfortable with speaking, and I like to sing. I'm part Filipino. It just comes with the blood. Whether I sound good or not, it's a different thing.
Filipinos love to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never thought about it, but I really enjoyed it. It was just something that came naturally, and I was surprised, because I always thought I was more of a private sort of person.
Yeah.
But here we are.
But
today.
you always shared the right amount.
Yeah.
You never overshared things.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Because it's just that people like me who are the nosy ones will just be like, so Blessie went yesterday to this. She's like, oh, fine. Let me talk about that story too.
Yeah.
So Blessie also comes with two sisters.
Right.
You're the eldest.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how was it growing up?
It was great. I feel like I was the tomboy. I know that's not a popular term, but I had a lot of all my cousins were all guys, so I was always out there on a bicycle, getting run over by trishaws, and playing in the dirt. My sisters were a couple years. Yeah, they were great. Quiet. They loved to read. They were very artistic.
Wow.
But I loved music and being out there and hanging out with the guys, and it was fun. It was different, and we're still close, and they bring a whole lot of balance and perspective in my life.
All three like you would have been tough on your parents.
I know. I feel bad for my folks. So there was only one of me.
Yeah.
And
the other two were more.
Yeah, they made things a whole lot easier, and they certainly balanced things out for us.
And made you look a bit bad as well at that time.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, but they gave great advice, even though they were younger. They certainly feel like people that I can talk to get perspective, and they're always there. Whenever I need to talk to them, even though we're not physically. Thanks to technology, it's like they're never too far away.
Yeah. All right, we need to get into a break. Just to let you know, Golfers Hotel has a brand new chef who has even worked with Gordon Ramsay. Yeah. And he was just like, sorting these out so fast. I must say this food looks absolutely gorgeous. So we are going to dip ourselves into it, and we will see you right after.
We should just eat it, not dip ourselves in it.
No, it's quite liquid, I meant.
Okay. Let's dip.
Yeah, let's dip. Let's get into a break. We'll see you right on the other side.
Presenting Love, Uber Eats, a platform to donate essential items to those in need.
Welcome back to the show. We are checking out Golfers Hotel. This is the Traveller's Bar, and we are traveling through this. I have Blessie Keegel with me, and our food looks fabulous.
It really does. I'm
we
kind
would
of
like
concerned.
to just take a minute to appreciate it.
Yeah.
She even has rocks.
Yeah, it's very put together.
Artistic, It's like you get that cooking in the wild.
I know. It's a charcoal bun with Wagyu beef.
And these things are like add-ons for the burger.
Condiments, yeah.
So
the
cool,
sauces, and it's like a high tea for your burger.
But I would actually like to take this home.
They wouldn't notice. You should just walk out with it.
Do you still have the craze for stationery?
I do, of course.
This is ideal for us to stack
I
our
know. We
stationery.
could put our little stamps and little pens and stuff.
You know that she and I, we just go to this particular stationery shop just to sniff and look at things and buy a few things. Yeah.
You just outed us. We sniffed the stationery, guys.
And she bought me, is it a calligraphic pen? Is that what it's called? Yeah, she bought me a set for my birthday. I'll never forget.
Yeah. So do you use it? Probably not.
Yes. Well, I use it. Yeah. I've never got the art of it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's not easy.
It's not easy.
You have to have an app for it.
I've tried and tried. And also you need to know the flowing handwriting. And every time I watch Crown, I feel like I should take it and write
100%.
immediately, because the queen right before she goes to sleep.
She just signs and
And also she writes
she
what happened.
Her journal,
the whole,
Dear diary.
I have to so write that, but
Prince
then,
was I've had better days.
And what have I given birth to Charles?
He's all They are the worst.
And what happened with Camilla?
I quit.
I'm done.
Just take it.
Yeah,
take it
so true. I'm totally with you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so coming back to what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
So you started this thing called Women in Management, Media. Well, management media.
That's the other blessing.
But Women in Media is something that she started. It was quite a great thing, and it was very gender biased. Like she literally said, Danu, you can't come. So no men were allowed.
Not really. I mean, I did say that you should join if you wanted to.
But it's
You'd be an honorary member. Yes, it would kind of go against the whole concept of women in media.
Yeah.
It's just a sad thing with COVID. We started at such a weird time where we got together, and it started off as a hype. We got everybody together. We still keep in touch, and we have a group. And we've seen each other through processing the protest movement to COVID, and keeping each other on alert, checking in. Women are being able to get work connections, and so the work is still going on, but I feel like it's so important for us to also have some physical connections. So I'm really looking forward to the time when we can do that.
I remember your launch, and I just wanted the goodie bag that you gave everyone.
Yeah, it was pretty fancy.
Yeah, I never got that too. Do you have
I didn't get one either, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I gave it to everybody else.
You didn't have an extra?
I didn't, no.
Oh, you didn't have all?
I can give you a pin. I can give you a little Women in Media badge.
Sit on it.
How rude. You're not going to allow to join. That's it. You're banned.
Okay, so tell me, what is the purpose behind it? Okay, so do you feel women are discriminated in media?
I mean, I think women are discriminated in general, I think, in life.
Yeah, but do you feel, but we have come so far from there.
You think. We are in 2022, but only recently women were allowed to work, after 5 o'clock or something. They've extended working hours for women quite recently. I think it was just last month. But in general, the reason why this all started also was to form a community for women that work specifically in all forms of media, not just TV and radio, but there's advertising, there's graphic design, singers, acting, everything that constitutes of the media. For us to have a community where if we need help, if we need legal advice, if we're facing harassment in the workplace, we have a community where we can connect with, to be able to be like, hey, we got your back. How can we help you? We can learn from each other. We can find jobs, network, because oftentimes women are pitched against each other in our workplaces.
How was that? Were there people who were like, oh,
yeah, because, there was always, you couldn't advance to the next level. Oh, she had to have done some sort of favor to be able to get to that point, or you're seen as like a straight up, speaking your mind,
we just
being
have a
competitive.
few beep words on the show. Just continue.
Sorry, is this a kid's show? I thought this was Danu on fire. Shit, I brought the fire.
Not fire, you just brought the whole
volcano.
Yeah, volcano coming here.
Forgive me. But we find ourselves often in positions where we're expected to be a certain way at the office, and we cannot completely be ourselves. So we find ourselves in a position where they want to keep us in a little box, and we have to meet certain norms. And recently, I was reading through the survey where they talked about the type of people they value in a corporate or workplace environment: mothers, single women, single men, fathers. They always see fathers as this amazing guy that can bring it all together, but live the happy life, but get the job done. But mothers were always at the bottom, and it was the strangest thing,
Women are the ones who can actually multitask.
Listen, I'll tell you what, with motherhood comes patience, learning how to deal with different personalities, being able to multitask and make things happen. What kind of company wouldn't want someone who could do that on your team?
I agree.
So
totally
that
with you.
really opened my eyes to how things are in general. And I'm like,
I always say it, I was brought up by two women, and you can never go wrong with that. There's
100%.
always something so much more stronger, and there's empathy and no sympathy that they give you, and that is much more respected. All right, we need to get into a break. Can I please have a chip?
I have a chip for you.
Thanks.
It's a bit
sweet
softer.
potato. Yeah. It's sweet potato. You can't get it crispier than this.
You can.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is nice though.
That's good.
So bad. Talking food inside. Welcome back to the show, our final segment right here on Danu on Fire with Blessie Keegel. Tell me, how was it? I actually never expected Blessie, how her motherhood is going to be.
Yeah.
Because she's such a she's so practical in a lot of things that she does. And I didn't think she'll be the one who think, oh, feed me, Baba Pete. No. That was not you.
No.
But
Definitely.
you have such a cool boy.
Yeah.
He's so cute. He's so adventurous. He walks through the garden. He is looking into rain. He has got a suntan. He goes through everything. He's absolutely cute.
Always dirty.
Yeah, he's just, he's a proper boy living a true boy's life.
And the funny thing is that I remember talking to my husband at the beginning. We were just talking about how we didn't want him brought up, like even when he was born, it was a surprise. We didn't want to set up his room. We didn't know if it was going to be a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
We didn't want it to be this preconceived place that he was born into with everything blue, everything pink.
Yeah.
And even with his toys, we're very selective about making sure that it's something that, you know, he could play with. It didn't matter whether it were dolls or cars. It was very a genderless space all the time. And he just naturally just progressed to the things that he likes. And he's right now in love with monster trucks. And he's got his own soundtrack that he needs played when he's playing with the trucks. So goes into my phone, goes into Spotify and knows to find like the monster trucks greatest hits.
But he's so adventurous. Like he has traveled with you all from the time he was just like a ball of cheese.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always took him wherever I went in a carry-on in the back of my car.
Yeah. And he was just so cool. Like I've seen him everywhere. Like recently I saw him at an Indian food festival and he was so busy like
without us too. Yeah, he was on his own.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, I need to have some Indian food now.
Yeah. I heard there was a party over here. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's absolutely cute. He has an Instagram account which is managed by Blessie because when I saw the sense of humor I was like, oh, that's so blessed.
No, it was just funny, and I know a lot of people have feelings about it. It is a private account, but I thought it'd be a cool collection to have of his.
But especially when he grows up, he's going to be so. He's going to be so appreciative of it because it sort of documented his life.
Kinda, like I know a lot of people put a lot of thought into it and they were like, yeah, we'll give it to him when he turns 18 or whatever. And I never went that far into it. And people are just like, why would you put your kid out there? And I'm like, because I want to. It's fine. Like I'm not too worried.
He's seen as a person, not as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's definitely cute. But how did your life change? Till you were pregnant, I used to like sit next to her. We was doing a show at that time and I was losing weight and she used to bring me mango and oats.
And your sister used to feed me every morning, I'll never forget.
Oh, the mango and oats was so nice. I learned from her how to make it so much more nicer. I actually did lose weight at that time.
It was a good time.
Yeah. But how did your life change from giving birth? You were the same Blessie, but...
Yeah. I mean, gosh, there's so many things that happen, I think. Like I was very much a loner, you know, I wasn't in a lot of relationships and I never thought that being married and having a child was necessarily for me. It was something that I could do. It probably made me a selfish person, but I mean, when you see someone that's come out of love, out of your own body, you know, it's a surreal experience. And I didn't want to be too much influenced by other people's experiences. I mean, it is helpful to know and to learn. And I mean, especially from my sisters and my mom and my friends who've done this before me. But I think a lot of the stuff we figured out as we went along. It changes because you realize you can do things you would never have thought of.
Correct.
Like being able to be up for 48 hours and still be functional, you know, still not lose, you know, patience when you've got so much going on and you just want to make it happen. And
I still remember when I first went and met her, he was a big boy the time he was born. He looked the same.
Yeah, he still is.
And she was like, my only priority now is to keep that thing alive.
Yeah, I know. And people are just like, how is Khalid? I'm like, he's alive. Alive and well.
And
he's good.
And that's true. You just need to keep him alive.
That's it, you know.
And that's the primary responsibility of a mom.
Exactly.
And it was super cool.
And a dad.
Yeah, and I think it's lovely how you have taken such a you angle to it. And knowing Blessie, you'll know. She can't be bothered with drama. And,
no, definitely not.
That's what she's all about.
Drama-free.
But has your life emotionally or mentally changed?
Oh, 100%. I mean, gosh. I mean, when you're talking about how like your heart expands and you start thinking about things in a long-term perspective, okay, like the things and the decisions that I make, that we make together as a couple, as a family, how is this going to affect him? And I think even the decisions about our life now, with what's been going on in the country, you start thinking outside of your own selfishness about what you're comfortable about, what you're insecure about, and you start thinking about, okay, how do we make better decisions about making sure that his life is a little bit more secure and stable. You know, like for example, I am a very bad budgeting sort of person. I am bad at math, essentially. Budgets, it was like paycheck to paycheck sort of living.
And it's so easy, you know, when you use your cards and then cry about it.
Exactly. And then you just like, you try and do the math, and with wonky math, already I'm in a hole. But thankfully my partner came along and he kind of really showed me how to plan, how to save.
He looks that type.
Yeah, he's really practical and really good at that stuff. So it really allowed me to do that. And I see so much of benefit now being together for, you know, quite a few years. And I see how that allows us to also then teach Khalid like all of these really great, you know, financial responsibilities and the importance of being generous and giving and being mindful of everything that you do. He's small, but I think those things go a long way.
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
I think we need to wrap things up. I don't know, somebody was behind us, I feel. We need to wrap things up. But before we go, I so need to try this.
Yeah, this is...
The chef has specifically said for us to eat it with this.
More dipping.
Yeah. It's a dip kind of a day.
Dipping.
All right, I'm going to say, oh, this is like a caramel.
Yeah, it's like a custard.
Yeah,
and
like lots of things happening here.
Like a pecan bread.
I'm so marrying this chef.
You should. And I can come over.
I know.
And I could do this again.
Yeah, without the camera. It's just eating our comfort
Private.
zone.
Yeah.
Thank you to our sponsors, Ezra Holdings, for joining us on Danu on Fire. Blessie, it has always been
Thank you for having
a
me.
pleasure to talk to you. It continues to be so.
Conversation and food. It doesn't get any better than this.
We could have just added coffee to this mix. Yeah. Yeah. And at the same time, hope we will relive our days on radio once again.
You know, stranger things have happened.
I know.
Never know.
I know. I was born. It was quite strange. I'm a miracle baby.
You are.
Thanks, I agree. All right, on that note, we'll wrap things up. We'll see you soon. Until then, keep smiling. It's a wrap.
Presenting Love, Uber Eats, a platform to donate essential items to those in need.